Have you ever asked yourself what money habits are pushing you forward and what money habits are pulling you back? And why project management matters? Today, we're going to be looking at a pretty interesting topic, and that is money habits, why project management matters. There's a couple of things that I want to say just before we get into today's program. You see, very often you set business and personal financial goals, but I want you to recognize that a goal is not a plan is not a strategy. And to influence success in business or in your personal life, you need a clear goal, you need a strong plan, and you need the ability to execute on the right strategies. Today, we're going to spend some time doing a deep dive into some of these concepts to really help you to understand essential money habits and to form and how the right project management tools can really set you up for success. But that's not all we're going to be talking about today. You will be learning from one of my colleagues about ways to make money in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. And of course, he will explain to you some of the risk to help you to navigate the risk in relation to making money via that platform. I will also be having Peter Scott and another colleague to talk to us about master planning. If you want to be successful in business or successful in life, do you have a master plan for success? So, an essential money habit to have also one is to understand how multiple platforms that you can generate positive income cash flow from. And two is to ensure that you have a master plan around whatever platform you're going to be using to position yourself for financial greatness. So, well, I want to encourage you or ask you to join me in welcoming my colleague. I'm going to invite, first of all, Peter Scott. And in the event that you have never met Peter Scott and you don't know Peter Scott, well, he is a theologist by profession. And he is also the brain behind Legacy Chronicle Human Growth Program. What that program is all about? Some of the focus of this institution is really to help people to get their master plan right. Master plan, yes. He says to you that you need your personal life master plan, your family life master plan, your community life master plan, and your corporate life master plan. I do believe that when you have these master plan, it gives you a clear mental picture as to where you are in life, where you want to go, and possibly how to get there using the right tools. So that's the kind of clarity that you need with your life. And Peter is the kind of person that will talk to you about that. I also have Elmore Lopez, who is in the house. And Elmore is an expert when it comes to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Elmore has recently written a book, and I know he's doing the refining parts of it. And very soon that book is going to be public. And that book will have a lot of nuggets, a lot of gems to really help you to understand the realities of investing in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. It will help you to understand risk and how to mitigate those risks. And most of all, how to position yourself for financial greatness in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space. So, with that being said, I want to welcome each of you to the platform today. How are you guys?
Great.
Fantastic. Very good.
Awesome. Great to have you here today. Now, what I want to do to get the ball rolling, today we are looking at money habits and we are asking the big question, why project management matters. Well, I will look at it from those standpoints. I know you guys will look at it from your a different standpoint. And I think the differences is what makes this platform so unique. So I want to begin by looking at a couple of things. I'm going to look at three essential money habits, and then I will look at why project management matters. One of the things that we see happens very often, people set financial goals, but then you're not very clear about the goal that you're setting. We see people that wants to be successful, but then you are not able to define exactly what is success. So what we have done, we have developed a very unique platform of learning, and that platform is what we call the science of success. So what it first does, any area of success that you want to pursue, whether it's in business or in life, it's important to define what is success in your context. It's important to define it. So if you want to be wealthy, it's not enough to say that I want to be wealthy. You want to define exactly what being wealthy really means. Is it $1,000, $1,000,000, $1 billion, or $1 trillion? For you, just need to define what it is, because very often, if you're not able to define it, is where you have difficulty. Because what is that? If you can define it, you can measure it. If you can measure it, you can monitor it. And if you can monitor it, you can control your activities towards achieving the end results. So a healthy money habit to have is to say, not just to say I want to be wealthy. So I want to have $100 million in my bank account. I want to have $1 billion in my bank account. All right. And think big. There's no harm with that. If even you come halfway, you're still thinking big. Give yourself a tap on the back for thinking big. But you need to define what it is. The second thing that we talk about, which is an essential money habit, is to put yourself in that position of strength to be able to see money in the context of art, or see whatever goal you're going after in the context of art. Now, it's important for you to understand what I'm saying when I say you need to nurture the ability to see success in the context of art. What am I referring to as art? Well, let me break this down for you. Very often you say you want to make $1 million. You want to make $100 million. You want to make $1 billion. But then what are the strategies that you're using to achieve that? Very often you're not clear about this. What are the strategies that you're using to achieve that? You see, if you say, I want to make $1 million a month, I want to make $1 billion in 5 years, but then you're not looking at the strategy, it's wishful thinking. It's not a goal. Remember, a goal is not a plan is not a strategy. And you need a goal, a plan, and a strategy when you want to position yourself for success. So you may say, I want to accomplish this, but because you're not trained to see the goal that you want to achieve in the context of art, you never ask yourself, what is the best practices around the strategies? So in terms of art, you're looking at a number of things. You're looking at the strategy to deploy to achieve success, the tools to deploy to achieve success, the process to deploy to achieve success, the systems that I need to form to achieve success. This is success leave clues. And what are those clues that you're using to position yourself for success in business or success in life? And the reason most people struggle to realize success is because there is no method to the madness. There's just madness, right? You need to have a method to achieve your targeted performance outcome. So we look at two things so far. You need to define your success, what success means to you. And then you need to ask yourself, what are the tools? What are the strategies? What are the processes? What are the systems that you're using to achieve that very goal? Now, when your strategies, your tools, your processes are right, they can be properly systemized. And the reason you're going to systemize is because that process in of itself can be repeated to give you the end results. And when you have a process that is set up, it is properly systemized, guess what happens? It gives you the scientific outcome. All right. And what is science? Science is the end results. And what is the end results that you want? You want high reward, measurable results, predictable outcome with the highest degree of accuracy. So when you train the mind to see the success that you're going after in this way, it really forces you to identify with the right processes, the best practices to be successful. So these are essential money habits. It's not enough to say, I want to be successful, I want to be rich, and then you don't have that game plan in place. It is failing to have this game plan in place is the reason why we see billions of people across the world who are setting their New Year resolutions. The new resolutions tend to fall through the cracks. It becomes a basket case because the fact that you are not deploying the right processes to attain your success. To you, you have a goal. To you, you have a vision. But do you really understand what is a vision? A vision is not your wish list, and what you have is a wish list. What you're supposed to be having is a vision. A vision follows a blueprint to achieve that you have in mind. It's different than a wish list. So what I've done, I've given you some insights into what I consider to be essential money habits when you want to be successful in business or in life. Step one, define your goal. Know your targeted performance outcome. Second, train the mind to see that success in the context of art. What are the strategies, tools, and processes that you can deploy to achieve your objectives? And train the mind to see it in science. Science also allows you to look at historical data. The data that you're looking at in this particular context is your strategy, tools, processes that you are systemizing, or you may be able to look at other folks who would have done what you want to do and learn from it. I'll talk some more about that as we go into today's program. So you have the first leg of my presentation. There's another leg to this, but I'm not going to give it to you now. Let me give you a snippet of it. The big question that I asked early on is why project management matters. Why? And I will tell you why. There's a couple of things that we will look at shortly. And it will help you to understand the importance of nurturing a project management mindset. There's a couple of things about a project that you want to know, and I'm going to give it to you in the brief. When I come back, I'll expand on it. A project has a start date. So it's not enough to say that I want to be rich, and you don't put a start date and an end date to it. A project has a start date and an end date. For example, you might say January 2025 to 2026 is my start and end date, and at the end of that date, this is what I want to accomplish. That you want to accomplish is what we can refer to as your completion criteria. So you want to have a building done at this particular time, or you want to have $100 million in your bank account at this particular time. That is your completion criteria. So these are some of the things that you want to be thinking about. And this is how project management can help you. Quickly, what is the budget to accomplish your targeted performance outcome? What is your WBS? Your work breakdown structure. I'll talk briefly about that. And do you have the right project management team and project management tools in place? Again, this is success leaf clues. And what I'm giving to you is some of the clues that we have learned, we have practiced, and we've given this to you because we want you to be successful in what you're doing. We want you to be successful. So we're giving to you the clues. No strings attached, no cost attached to it neither. But we're doing this because we want you to be successful in business and in life. So I'm going to pause here for now. And when I come back, I will walk you through the importance of project management behind whatever financial habits you're forming. I'm going to turn to Peter. Peter, I would love to hear your share on the topic and perhaps how master planning plays an important role in the whole ecosystem that we're discussing today. All to you, Peter.
And it is always a delight to be here, Gary. And it's a beautiful way to start the day, discussing issues which is so much so important to our lives as well, not just as where business is concerned, but in our from our perspective, where human growth is concerned. We realize that a large portion of the challenges that we see happening in society is mostly because most persons tend to live their lives on default. There is not a decisive program by which they're abiding by, and most individuals, they relegate their responsibilities to whoever they think is better than themselves in doing that, in doing those matters. And what we do find is that a lot of individuals, especially here in the United States, well, in most countries overall, but at this time here in the United States, we see how many people relegate their responsibilities, and they're hoping that the knight in the shiny armor, or the person with the solution, is the politician. And so individuals are waiting for the right man that will come to deliver them or to bring them out of the catastrophes or whatever it is that they deem to be so. So human growth master plan really bring individuals to understand that nobody's coming to save you. You better save yourself. And in saving yourself, you've got to get an understanding of the concept of who you are. You have to understand. So there is in this brief intro of the Human Growth Master Plan as it relates to the essential money habits. We want individuals to understand, as I said a while, number one, you cannot relegate the responsibilities of your life to nobody, not even the persons who we employ where politics are concerned. If you leave it up to them, what if the wrong person that you deem is in power? Then what happens where your life is concerned? So human growth master plan, we want individuals to understand that you are responsible for you. You are responsible for you, and nobody is there who can offer greater help to project your life in the direction that it want to go outside of you. Um, so you have to. There are three questions that I want to present right now as it relates to essential money habits. And the first question is that, but even before I ask those three questions, what I do realize, because we have a program that we are developing to really, enhance people's productivity, and it is the master plan technique. The master plan technique, and a part of the master plan technique, we want individuals to bring definition, and you were hitting on it so succinctly a few minutes ago when you were asking about definitions. You were highlighting the importance of definitions. And if we do not define it, as you rightly say, Gary, if you do not define it, you cannot measure it. So, and we do realize, even where money is concerned and money habits are concerned, if you should go out into the marketplace and just ask an individual, what is money? You will get a blank stare as a person, like a deer in the headlight. Because a lot of individuals, as much as every individual today out into the marketplace, they do realize that money is essential to a great degree. Well, I would say it is essential. It is the oxygen in the marketplace. If you do not have it, you cannot eat. So money is very, very essential. But then if you ask, what is money? Most persons have not taken the time out to really break down a definition of what it is, so that they are able to better, portion or better apply what they are so anxiously working to get at the end of the period that they are paid. So we want to even just to give a definition of what money is. And just a simple definition is that money is the measurement of the contribution and services distributed in the marketplace. That's our basic definition, by which we can have some kind of understanding where we're going to go and how we're going to use the master plan technique to help individuals to get a grip on what it is that they're truly doing. So let me repeat that. Money is the measurement. Money is a measurement. That's all it is. It measures your contribution to the marketplace. So whatever the service you are bringing to the marketplace, money is going to measure the importance of that product or service. So the individual who is solving big problems, they get a bigger measurement of money coming to them. If the problem that you are solving, the contribution that you're making in the marketplace is, if it is a contribution that everybody else can do, you're gonna get a smaller measurement, a measurement that is equal or proportionate to everybody else who has those skills. So it is important, if you want to make money and you're going to develop essential money habits, you will have to focus or find a problem that is big enough, that is also, not a lot of people have the skill to do that. And you are going to make that contribution, because now you will be the person that they will be searching for. There is less of your contribution in the marketplace, so people actually pay you more, because you are deemed as a scarce commodity, so to speak, a scarce solution in the marketplace. So people will give you more because there's less of you. And that's when we understand that concept, then we can now move on to how we're going to actually apply ourselves. So the definition is the first thing. The numbers, the other thing that we would want to ask ourselves as we're going to um, attract or increase the amount of money that is coming into our lives. A very important question that must be asked is, who are you? Who are you? And why should I give you more money? Yeah. Who are you? What is so important about you that I should give you more of my money? Because as we just said a while ago, it has to be that the contribution that you're making is going to equate to the amount of money that is you are asking for. And there is so much that can be said about the who are you question and how you're going to answer that question. But I'm just going to ask the third component, that will bring up a little bit more clarity, uh, is, what is your mission? Who are you? All right. But in order for you to answer that question of who are you, then you got to have some sense, who are you and why we should give you more money. Then you should ask yourself, what is your mission? What is it? What is the contribution? that you're going to present to the marketplace. You've got to have clarity about your life's mission. And these are so much important where human growth is concerned, because human growth is about service. We are here today. There we cannot do or live without somebody bringing service, and we utilize those services to serve our well-being, to serve our families. So, and service providers are mission carriers. They are, carrying out a mission. We're here speaking, and we are scattered in three different localities, hundreds of miles from each other. But here we're able to have this conversation because somebody has created a service that I can sit here on my phone, and I can be making, having this conversation as if we are in the same room. Service is important. Service providers are important. So, what is the mission that you have to provide a service to the marketplace that is going to solve problems? And it is important for us to ask those questions. You have to ask those questions. So, who are you, and what is your mission or the service that you are going to bring to the marketplace that is going to solve problems by which individuals are going to give you money, and you can use those money now to take care of your life, the cost of your life now, which is the third thing that I want to present at this introduction of our master plan technique. So the third question is, how much will it cost? What is the cost of your life? Life has a cost. For you just to take a puff of oxygen this morning, it's not free. Although it is abundant out there, there is a cost to it, because it means that it's a part of life. And in this respect, I want to say this, I like to draw inspiration from um, from the from the Bible. And there's a parable that Jesus mentioned. He says, "For which of you intending to build a tower, sitting not down first, and counteth the cost whether he has sufficient to finish it? Lest after you have laid the foundation, you are not able to finish it, and all that behold begin to mock, saying, This man began to build and was not able to finish it." Now, there is a cost. There's a cost for you to engage the community. There is a cost for you to travel from one place to another. You cannot efficiently do it unless you consider the cost. For you to breathe, as I mentioned, you are breathing in a particular space, and even though the air you are breathing, it is contained in a space that is your home. And your home has to be paid as whenever the period at the end of the month or whenever, it has to be paid for. So even though the air is free, the space in which the air is free has to be paid for. And we have to consider the cost. Anything that you're doing in life, there is a cost to it. And if you're not providing the cost, then now this is why and if you do not have a plan, which is where the master planning is concerned, or personal life master plan, because first of all, and there's so much that can be said about this, but planning is important. Having a master plan is important. And a little bit from now, we're going to talk, as Gary mentioned, why project management matters, why it matters. And we're going to talk about that when we come back around. But let me just remind you, first of all, what I just said. You have to have a definition. You have to have a clear definition of what money is. And we're giving that to you right now. Money is a measure of the contribution and the services that you're going to present to the community. And if you do not have a service that you're presenting to the community, you will not have much money. And if you want to have more money, then increase the contributions that you will make to the community. Ask yourself the question, who are you? Ask yourself the question, what is your mission? And ask yourself the question, what is the cost that your mission and your life overall will? Gary, let me just hand it back to you now with that.
All right, Peter. You made a statement at the beginning, which is know thyself, and what I add to it is know thyself and hold thyself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wish that you would have expanded on those points as it relates to money habit. I just want to chime in here just a little bit. I do believe that it's important to begin this process by believing in yourself. It is when you believe in self, you can now hold yourself accountable for your life and for your future. And you owe it to yourself. All right. You owe it to yourself to know thyself and to hold thyself accountable for your dreams and hopes and your aspiration. So whether you're in business or in life, it is something that you want to hold yourself accountable into. So I like that share. Um, I want to talk a little bit about the sponsors of today's program. Today's program is sponsored by One Degree to Success. And in the event that you're wondering what is One Degree to Success, it's a very unique program that uh, has been developed. Why? Because we see that millions of people across the world, you want to attain success in business or in life, but regardless of how hard you are working towards attaining success, you seem as though the tide is pushing against you. What this program does, it helps you to understand the reasons why you are not attaining your goals. Some may be natural causes and some may be man made. But the important thing is for you to understand those reasons because when you understand it, you can develop better strategies and better game plans to position yourself for success. So, some of the tools that you will learn here is what we call again the science of success. You will learn how to master this. Second, you will learn how to apply success tools more effectively. So you will be exposed to the right tools. You will learn about wealth management. Once you get wealth, what do you know? Do you know to manage it, or can you get it and then lose it all because you're not managing it properly? And once you manage it properly, you will also be taught about how to expand it. So, One Degree to Success, it's a very unique program. And again, it's for business and it's for the average person who wants to position themselves for financial greatness. As you go deeper into this program, we will be also looking at multiple types of investment portfolios. And of course, on these platforms, we are not giving any investment advice. We are sharing our knowledge, our thoughts with you when you are with us on a one-on-one basis, and we are able to diagnose you and where you're at. And we would then look at investment advice. You would always hear me say also that when you make an investment, it should never be an emotional decision. Don't make an investment decision based on front end analytics. You need to do the back end analytics, ensure that you have solid data that is helping you to understand why your investment is the smart and best choice that you're making. So, One Degree to Success will help you to understand some of that. So, with that being said, I want to welcome Elmore to help us to understand a little more about the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space as a way of generating active or passive income from that platform. Perhaps you can also look at some of the risk associated with it and how one can mitigate those risks. All to you, Elmore.
Awesome. Well, yes, it is a pleasure to be here today. And I feel very strongly about this whole new ecosystem that, cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is creating. And so I'm going to provide very simple ways for everyone that wants to get involved it's able to sorry, it's able to. And so the first way that you can very easily, very minimal amount of investment, you can start to run a Bitcoin node. Now, what is a Bitcoin node? A Bitcoin node is essentially, in simple words, is a computer that's dedicated to have the Bitcoin network running on it. Therefore, you are essentially acting as an like a bank, an intermediate bank. You are the transition, the spot where the transactions are happening, and therefore you are able to be compensated with the transaction fees. And so you can also mine cryptocurrency, which you could become a cryptocurrency or Bitcoin miner, to where then you have also a computer that now they have even very smaller versions of not, of mining equipment that it's available for everyone that wants to run a small mining personal for their house, to start to be able to create wealth for them, while they're sleeping or while they're going to do their daily activities. These are now opportunities that are available. But let's go a little bit further than that. We have this thing called the Bitcoin oracles, and many individuals. I remember the first time I heard about it, I was a bit clueless, and so I'm pretty sure you are clueless as I say this. But essentially, what that is the non-fungible token, which I'm going to have to explain what that is also. A non-fungible token is essentially one digitized block inside of the ecosystem. So this one token, now you're able to instill, like at the very beginning of the non-fungible token era, which had to do with pictures, it had to do with music, and it had to do, it became very famous with having projects that are recognized today, like the apes and other ones that came along. This is a non-fungible token. Now, why is it important that I'm mentioning the oracles? Is because this is the Bitcoin's marketplace for non-fungible tokens. This was not here before. This is recent. And so it's another opportunity to gain access to. I know individuals in my network that, they keep a very close eye to getting involved into these sites of projects. And so they tend to bring me along and stream me along with them. But this is the beautiful part of it is that this is brand new. We are still in the pre-adoption era of this whole entire ecosystem that's called the blockchain. What comes along with the blockchain technology, everything that you can think of underneath the sun that could become digitized. And along with that is going to be now, because of the recent news that are starting to pop out, it's going to be your house, it's going to be your vehicle, it's going to be your if you have assets, if you have, they already digitized gold and things of that sort. Everything is coming full round fruition. But another way that you're able to make money is to be able to do a little bit of what's considered scalp trading. Now, if you want to get into this arena, I must warn you, you have to be super vigilant in this space, because you are essentially, what the scalp trader does is not like a position trader, and it's not like a day trader to where they put in their bets at the beginning of the day, or they have a bet put on for a long term. But a scalp trader, it's one that it's taking advantage of the market moves as is happening within the second. So you are putting in a position that is only going to last a few seconds, and is based on many different aspects that you have to be aware of, like to have a sentiment, uh, and then also have a technical analysis, and many other things that come along with that, because news have to do with that, things that happen around the world have to do with the way that the market shifts and reacts to it. So if once you start to learn all of those little pieces there, you're going to be able to make money in the area of scalp trading. Now, there's many different other ecosystems that have been created besides Bitcoin. And so the main one, the reason why Bitcoin has become the main one is because it's got these five qualities. And the reason why I always speak about these five qualities is because this is what separates the whole entire decentralized ecosystem from a centralized ecosystem that, and to be, on all truthness, it's a system that at any given moment can be switched off with no warning, and we have seen this already happening around the world. So it is super important to become proactive, and these are the five aspects. It is, first of all, public, and then second of all is censorship resistant. The third thing is that it's neutral. That means that it doesn't marry itself with no parties. And then you have the fourth thing, which is borderless. What is the best thing about borderless? I think this is one of the aspects of a cryptocurrency that's decentralized that is the best, because that means that I can do business with you in your country, even though my country has sanctions against you, country, or your country has sanctions against mine, which in that case, in the traditional marketplace, we're not able to do business. But because of the borderless aspect of a cryptocurrency or the blockchain and cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, we're able to still manifest and have business happen and be able to transact. And the last but not least is going to be it is open. It is open for everyone. And this is one other thing that I really, really push home really hard is the fact that it's open means that the half of the world that has not have access yet to any sort of financial tool or system like a bank account, that it's such a basic right entry to the financial system, they do not have access to this. And to have now a digital form of hard money like Bitcoin that is able to allow you to become part of the ecosystem without having to have the requirements that are necessary for you to participate in the financial world, now you're able to do so. And all you need is a cell phone. And now we understand that pretty much 97% of the world holds a cell phone in their hands. And so this is now becoming, as the time goes on and the adoption curve is starting to take place, it is only going to become better and better and better. So this is like me telling you, we are at the very beginning, infant stages of this space still, even though we are 13 years or 15 years in. But this is still being developed, and it's still being implemented in every aspect of the fabric of society. And so that understanding should allow you to now get your gears moving, get you to head towards the right direction, to be able to come into information and to be able to do what I call DYOR, which is super huge, do your own research. Now, I'm going to mention to you a couple of things that you must understand about when you are doing your own research, because these are key facts and key aspects that you're going to need to be able to look for the right information and not just to believe the hype just because so many people are talking about it. And here are some of it. You must be able to look into the network. Every cryptocurrency has a scanner system, which means this is a ecosystem because every blockchain is open and public. Everyone is able to see the transactions that are happening in it. So the reason why I say this is because if you're going to do a little bit of research on a brand new project, and this project is being talked about a lot, but you have not been able to concrete find information that is would allow you to be comfortable in having part of that ecosystem, well, you want to be able to find them and have many different in many different areas of the social media world, and you want to see that they are very active. You want to see, you know second of all, that other people are bringing information that is essentially called insight information about this space. Another thing is that you want to be able to find that they have a legitimate website. You want to be able, if you they have a legitimate website, you're going to be able through there to find that ecosystem that shows the open blockchain. This is one of the best ways. Now, you must be on the X platform, because what's going on is that every cryptocurrency project, it's the social media aspect of it is very, very being driven and developed on the X platform. To be able to be on the X platform is not going to just allow you to be able to do the little research into you finding the project that you're looking for, and therefore you're able to find the community. You can, because they might have a Discord community, they might have a Telegram community. You're going to be able to run into the communities. You're going to be able to find all of the ecosystem. And the best part I think about being in the X platform into researching cryptocurrencies is that you're going to be able to see the rooms they have had open, and you're going to be able to listen to those recordings. These are golden nuggets you're going to find in there, because you're going to find very inside information that most of the public don't know, and if the public do know about it, they probably have it backwards. And so you have to, gain access to these little bits of public knowledge that is going to come to you, but you have to do your research. You have to become diligent in this space in order for you to be able to gain that true, strong foothold, and really be sure that what you're going to get into is going to benefit you, not just you now, but it's going to benefit you and your generations to come in the future. So the last thing that I will say is be very aware that there are many bad actors in this space. They have dimmed down, but the ones that have remained have become smarter. And just to put it to you how smarter they have become, let me tell you what has been going on with this little artificial intelligence system that has come around. What has happened is that you are able to essentially clone yourself with artificial intelligence. And because of that aspect of it, there was a incident to where a regular banking was called, and an individual used the Zoom system using artificial intelligence avatars to be able to mimic employees and employers, and was able to have someone that had access to accounting to be able to make a huge transactions of funds, then believing that they had spoken on this Zoom call to the managers above. So in the cryptocurrency space, there are also many bad actors using artificial intelligence, and the ones that are very vulnerable in this space are beginners. If you are a beginner in the space, this is why I'm super, super pushing education, and I'm pushing, through my book to be able to open your eyes into the financial system and what's going on in the financial world. But what is very important is that if you are new in the ecosystem, you have to be aware of the different types of simple scams that are out there, like phishing scams. And you have even phishing scams that have to do with individuals bringing you support, and because you are very unknowledgeable into a process, and you might just go into a platform that is legitimate asking for help, but in those legitimate platforms they praise these bad actors, that they're waiting for someone that is ignorant in the space to come and ask for help so that they can completely wipe you out. Now, I myself, many years back, experienced this. I have many individuals that have been part of my Crypto 101 group that have had experienced this before, and that has turned many individuals away from the ecosystem. But once you start to learn these ecosystems, and once you start to learn what you must do in order to be secure in the space and to transact and not fall part of any of these bad actors' traps, you must have this educational information in front of you. I am being the voice to be able to provide that information, and it's just something that it became a calling to me, because I have been doing this already for over 2.5 years. Do I have been working with some of, well, let's just mention three of them. I've worked with Access, I've worked with Blockchain Alliance, and I have worked with Definity F5 being the head educator for the Spanish community, and the other ones I've just been working creating content for educational purposes to get people involved in the space, but in a safe manner with many of different understanding aspects of the different moving parts of this whole entire ecosystem. Yes, this sounds like a mouthful, but I'm telling you that once you start to get a little bit of information and you start to get involved and you start to learn that, okay, my key phrase is something I don't give to no one, and you start to understand that I want to have a cryptocurrency wallet because I want to have self custody, because I now understand that not having self custody puts me at risk of losing my funds. And these are the things that you are going to start to understand, and you're going to start to implement and practice, and you will become very successful, not in just keeping yourself and becoming owner of your own financial future, but to be able to help individuals that are next to you and to be able to set it forward for your generations to come. I'm going to land the plane there. I know I said too much. I'm pretty sure there's some questions that are coming around, but I really do appreciate being here to be able to provide you guys with this valuable information. You're muted. Gary, you're muted. Gary, you're muted.
Yeah, I was saying great share. I noticed that you talk about mining, you talk about non-fungible token, you spoke about Oracle, among so many other things. What I want to say, I just want to reflect a little bit on some, historical data in relation to some of what we are attempting to do here. One of the words that you mentioned is being proactive, and I love that you would have mentioned do the research, do your due diligence. And as I talk about being proactive, and I can reflect when Thomas Edison, introduced light, there were a wide cross section of people. They were very skeptical about that. They were saying this is witchcraft and it's all manner of things. They resisted change. Today, because of a lot of work that was done, people have grown beyond that resistance. And what we have seen throughout human history, uh, people resist without having the right information. And people are not the information seekers. They are not the researchers. They are not the critical thinkers when it comes to making, practical and informed decisions about some of these things. So I want to encourage our audience. This is a new day. It's a new age. And part of our role is to provide you with information and provide you with the encouragement to ensure that you are not allowing yourself to be stuck in the uncertainty, to be stuck in fear. But you owe it to yourself to ensure that you can be proactive in collecting information about some of the new changes that is taking place in the world. And more people also resisted artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence, it is here, and by all indication, it is here to stay. People also across the world, because of lack of information, and of course, they have reasons not to trust the cryptocurrency and Bitcoin space. They have skepticism, and they have reasons. As you see, there are a lot of bad actors, and one of the most famous person, the poster boy, Bankman-Fried, Sam Bankman-Fried. I mean, he decimated public confidence in the sector. But what I've also seen is that because of the fact that you have critical thinkers in this space, this investment space, they saw that he was the bad actor, not the platform. The platform in of itself has tremendous potential. So much so that the federal government, they are now very much on their way in developing digital currency and what that will do in terms of your financial privacy. when they control that platform. We will not go into it now. Um, but I just want to say to people, ensure that you do not allow fear to cripple you. You do not allow yourself to make decisions based on fear, but get the information. So you yourself can say that I am an educated consumer of this content, and I know what I am saying. So with that being said, I want to come back to my talking point today. Money habits, and I trust that you would have understand some of those money habits. And you could make money 1,000 different ways. You just need to ensure that you're committing the time, talent, and resources to understand how the money game is played and ensure that you are well equipped to play the game. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some more nuggets. And the nuggets here that I'm going to be looking at now is why project management matters. So you set the goal, and is that the beginning and the end? It's not. You see, very often you may be able to define what is it that you want to accomplish. Let's call that setting the goal. Is that enough? Are you clear about the goal? And what I want to go through here is a number of steps to help you to develop the clarity in terms of how project management can help you. So you set the financial goal. You want to be clear about the goal that you're setting. So let's take, for example, you're setting a financial goal of earning $50 million a month. So you set this goal, what happens next? Because what we see very often, you set a goal, but then you don't have a start date to start your process towards achieving that goal, and you don't have an end date. So you set the goal, and the next thing that should follow is the date that you're going to start deploying human, technical, or capital resources to achieve that goal. It's not enough to say, this is my New Year resolution. I want to lose weight. I want to get rich, whatever that is. But you just set that, and you don't look at human, technical, capital resources to help you, because even in the case of losing weight, you have to have you should have a gym instructor. It makes sense. You should have a dietary specialist. It makes sense to do all of that. All right. Because there are right and wrong way of how you go about doing certain things. And if you go about it in the wrong way, you will fail. So the same concept, set the goal. I want to achieve $50 million a month. So that's setting your goal. My start and end date, I'm going to start on the 23rd of January. I'm going to end on the 23rd or the 22nd of February. So your start and your end date. All right. So I'm just giving you some hypothetical terms here, but
Mute it. You mute it.
all right. So the goal that you're going to be going after in of itself is going to be your completion criteria, because at the end of the month, you want to achieve $50 million in your bank account. Now, the completion criteria, very often when you look at the goal that you want to accomplish, you don't have a game plan to achieve that goal. And because you don't have that game plan, guess what happens? Everything falls through the crack. So let's examine this a little bit. Some might want to say 50 million is too big a sum to accomplish in a month. Well, so as a man thinketh, so is he. Let us break this down, however. So let us suppose that your goal is to achieve $50 million in 1 month. That's your completion criteria. So let's examine this. So what steps can you take to ensure that you can earn this? For example, you want to open what we call a five-star restaurant. All right, so that's one of the first things that you're going to be looking at. Just an example, you open a five-star restaurant. That five-star restaurant must have strong ambience and strong aesthetic to appeal to foreign nationals. So you're looking at some of your completion criteria. The criteria here is that you want to have a five-star restaurant, but the ambience and aesthetics must be strong to appeal to foreign nationals. So that's going to help. There are more to look at, but I'm doing a high level overview here. So how the completion criteria is going to support you in achieving the financial objective that you're setting yourself per month. Very often you're not clear about this. You just set the goal. So let's break this down. So what you're going to do, you're charging in your five-star restaurant, you're targeting 200 persons, let's say 200 persons per day, and you're going to charge them per meal $2,000. So what this means, it means that the 2,000 multiplied by 200 person, or 200 multiplied by 2,000 per meal, is going to equal $400,000 per month, per day, sorry. And when you calculate that by 30, you get a sum total of $12 million per month, but that's below your target. But very often you don't know this because you just set a goal and you start to execute. You're not think tanking, you're not brainstorming. So in this particular case, when you do the financial analytics, you recognize that 200 by 2,000 is going to only give you $400,000 per day. When you multiply that by 30 days, you only get $12 million. That's below the target that you set yourself. So part of setting that goal, you want to think through, how am I going to reach my completion criteria? So you develop that roadmap. So let's look at another scenario here. The next scenario that you're going to look at is that you can do several things. You can increase the number of persons you want to serve with meals, or you can increase the price. So in this case, what you do, you now increase not only the number of persons, but you increase the price and the number of persons. So in this case now, you're going to charge $5,000 per meal, 25 US dollars, and you're targeting 500 persons. So what this means? It means that 500 by 5,000 enables you now to generate a sum total of $2.5 million per day. So when you multiply that by 30 days, how much it gives you? $75 million per month. So you reach your target. All right. This game plan shows that if it is implemented and implemented well, you're going to achieve the financial objective that you set yourself per month. And I would normally say to people, setting a small goal is perhaps as equally, as setting a big goal. It requires the same brain power. But do you have the confidence in yourself to execute? And then that's what we're going to come to next. So this is where project management comes in, because what project management does, it helps you to look at the goal, start date, end date, completion criteria. It looks at all of this. All right. So now that you recognize that the way to go to achieve your financial objective with your five-star restaurant is to be able to produce meals that you're going to sell at 25 US dollars per person, and you're reaching 500 persons per day. Now, as I would say to you, a goal is not a goal is not a plan, and a plan is not strategy. And you need both the goal, the plan, and the strategy when you want to be successful. So let's call all of this your goal and your plan. You have the plan. You plan exactly how you're going to make your money. You know how you're going to make it, but what strategy can you deploy to achieve reaching this target? Let's talk a little bit about strategies here. You know that you want to reach 500 persons per day, but how can you do this? Because your inability to do this can significantly undermine you reaching your financial target. And this is what happened to millions of people across the world. You set the goal, you know what you want to accomplish, but then what it's going to take to achieve it, you have not fully examined it, because you are not looking at the strategies, the tools, the processes that can be systemized to give you consistent outcome. So what does the strategy look like to achieve this specific objective? So you have a five-star restaurant. How are you going to outfit it with 500 persons per day? Can you talk to embassies, since you're dealing with foreign nationals? Can you connect with embassies? Yes, it's possible. So perhaps the strategy now is to build out relationships with ambassadors and embassies that are interfacing with those foreign nationals. So you're building out relationships here. Could that be a strategy that you're deploying to interface with your ideal client? Because you know your ideal client in this case, your ideal client is foreign nationals. What is another strategy that you can deploy? Perhaps you can interface with private sector bodies. Perhaps the foreign nationals that are coming, they all are registering with perhaps their chambers of commerce that are representing them. So that in itself gives you access to the foreign nationals. You're building relationships with those people. You see, all this is strategies. It's not enough to know what you want to accomplish. It's equally important to understand the strategy, because the plan is not the strategy. And the reason you're going to fail is because you don't have a strategic game plan to nurture the goals, the vision, the dreams and hopes and aspiration that you have for yourself. So the entire vision collapse. Perhaps another strategy that you can use is to build out relationship with government officials. Why? Because government officials, in most cases, they have relationships with these foreign nationals that are coming to do business. So you having relationship with all of these critical stakeholders can be part of your strategy. And if you don't have the strategy right, again, that's what can cause your business, your vision to fall through the crack. It becomes a basket case, and that's not what you want when you want to do business. So you can have healthy money habits, but then remember again, the goal is not the plan, and the plan is not strategies. And you need the strategy. You need these things to go hand in hand. Perhaps another strategy could be that you are making direct connections with these individuals who are foreign nationals. You're a people person. You have a team of effective communicators that know exactly where to find them and how to connect with them and build a healthy, productive relationship with these stakeholders. Strategies. You need to do whatever it takes to achieve the business financial objective or your personal financial objective. Strategies. Other concepts that you can also deploy as strategies, you can design and implement your marketing and public relation. That's going to help you to get the visibility, the reach, the impact, the client conversion. But Elmore mentioned something early on, to do all of these things is budgetary allocation. You need to have monies available for them. Our role here today is to really say to you that it's possible to be successful in business. It's possible to be successful in life. But you owe it to yourself to ensure that you get the right information. Because the right information is what's going to set you up for success. So why project management matters? Because of all of this. There's so much more for me to talk about project management, but I'm going to talk about one other concept before I wrap up my point and wrap up the program very soon. So far, I've talked about the right way to set the goal. I've talked about knowing your start and end date. I've talked briefly about budget. I've talked also about the strategy. But let me also say to you why project management is important. There's a concept that we call the WBS. And I wish that everyone had an opportunity to look at a WBS. What is a WBS? It's your work breakdown structure. When I was first exposed to project management many, many years ago, it's one of the subjects that I passed with distinction. I was so excited when I was exposed to the WBS because guess what the work breakdown structure does? It takes the entire project. So if you're building a building, it takes this entire project and collapse it into a WBS. So you know what you're doing on day one, day two, day three, day 3, 4, 5. You know the entire activities of the project. You know how to timeline getting your stone, getting your sand, the right human resources and technical resources and capital resources to move the process forward. So when you look at the WBS, you have a clear mental picture of what is the project, how to execute, the timeline in which to execute in. And if you can see things are going wrong with the timeline, you know exactly how to deploy the right management tools or configuration management systems to ensure that you maintain the project integrity. So I really wish that everyone can take some time out as a rising star in business, as someone who wants to be successful, and get your WBS and see how much you can apply these concepts to your business life and to your personal life. We're here to give the information because we want you to be successful in terms of what you're doing. And there's right and wrong ways in which you can position yourself for success. And our mission is to ensure that we provide you with enough information that will help you to take practical steps to achieve success in the way you can achieve it. It's possible. All right. It's not necessarily about setting the small goal. It's about applying the right mindset towards achieving the goals that you want. Now, all that I'm saying to you, we have also collapsed a lot of these concepts into the program that we call in the Science of Success. And very soon we're going to be talking to you more about the Science of Success University. Because we see so many people in the world, business and otherwise, they want to be successful, but they're failing. And we had to ask ourselves, is there a science to success that people don't know, that they need to know to significantly optimize their success? They say success leaves clues, but if success leaves clues, why is it that so many millions of persons in business and in life are really struggling to come into success? Is it that they're not seeing the clues? Is it that the clues are not accurate? Is it the clues are not really scientifically proven? Well, we're concerned about that. So we have done the deep dive into those areas of study. And on our programs, the Science of Success and the Science of Success University, we will be bringing so much more of this information to you. What does the data say about success in business and in life? And when you have this type of information, it helps you to be more informed. All right. It helps you to be market oriented. What does being market oriented means? It helps you to be market sensitive. What does being market sensitive means? It helps you to be market responsive. What does being market responsive means? So whether you know it or not, we see that most people are becoming market responsive without being market oriented. That means that if you're market responsive without being market oriented and market sensitive, it means that you are speculating. And that's not what you want to do. Now, when it comes to making money, investing money, and expanding your wealth. So I trust that you had some nuggets here today. Why project management matters, I've given you. If you didn't remember anything else that I say, I want you to remember WBS, work, breakdown, structure. So the next time you say, I want to be rich, I want to be successful, I want you to ask yourself, do I have my WBS? Do I have my work breakdown structure? And what is your work breakdown structure? The work breakdown structure helps you to see every single moving part of the project. That helps you to really see the beginning, the end, and the in between of a process and puts you in control of managing that process better. So why project management matters? It matters. So with that being said, I want to turn to Peter. And Peter, I'm going to ask you to give your closing remarks in about a minute or two, because we're way past time. But all to you, my friend, your closing thoughts. You're mute. You're mute.
There we go. All right. Okay. So, right, as I was saying earlier, that as we look at human growth, and money is an essential factor, where human growth is concerned, because as we are in existence, there is a cost. And one of the important thing when we first started, when I first started developing even my personal master plan, it was stimulated by, or I was motivated really by the fact that there is a cost that is involved with living. And until we answer that question, and until we begin to take into consideration what it is, then, as I mentioned earlier as well, that because money is the oxygen of the marketplace, just as how your body, your physical body, for the various components that makes up your physical body is important. Money is also important for that physical body to exist in the exterior world that we are engaged in. So let me just break down um, even yourself, when you look at yourself in the mirror, in terms of the cost, right? And because even as I liked how Gary mentioned a while ago that if you're going to do a particular, if you want to create a particular entity at a particular value in terms of wanting to extract profit in a particular way, then you have to know what you're dealing with and how you're going to actually implement services that is going to attract that revenue. With human growth, it is the same thing. And as I say, every business exists for human growth. Outside of that, you will not have a business. Businesses are established to solve human growth and development problems. And once you begin to tap into this, and in closing, let me just say this, that the question of who are you is where you will find a business to enter into human growth and development. If you consider, because as I said again, that every business is established to serve some way human development. So understanding what human development is, then you can pick one of those areas, and in serving that area, most definitely you'll be having or increasing money coming into your life. As using Gary's scenario, why is it you're going to go into a restaurant, you're going to do a restaurant business, and you're going to go into meals and creating an ambiance? It's really because human beings have to eat. There's no way we can go around that. So by building your business, human growth, you're contributing to human growth, because human beings have to eat, and human beings need to exist in a particular environment. And the classification of human service, there are some human beings that have to operate within a particular ambiance, and you're going to create an ambiance for those human beings to operating. Gary speaking about ambassadors, government officials. There are certain ambience that is essential for them to do business in or to communicate. Then when you can provide that, you can generate that level of um, revenue that you're talking about. So let me just run through this. There are 9 components to who a human person is. There are 9 components. Through number, you can only see one of them. And usually because we only see one, then we tend to think that, that's all that there is in relation to who we are as human beings. The physical form, the body, the needs of the body. But then when we begin to even understand that there are so many dimensions to what the body need, and each need of the human body is a business that you can build. But then there are other aspects of the human person that is not seen. The human, in the very core of the human person, is his conscience or his spirit, and there is a vast need of spiritual products and services that are essential for human existence. All right, outside of that, the human person has a mind, which is a psyche. And then there are six, I've counted, maybe you can find more, but I've counted six dimensions to the human psyche, the human mind: his thoughts, his memory, his emotions, his or her intellect, his or her will, and his or her imagination. And within that, each of those, or a combination of those, are practically businesses that individuals can go into to generate revenue that is going to add to my favorite topic: human growth and development. So let me end with this then. In For you to move, or for you to solve the cost, or take on the cost of living, then you are going to find something you want to enter. And most likely, what we are saying where Human Growth Master Plan is concerned is that every individual was born to solve a problem. Every individual. You don't even have to, spend so much time in searching out there, but actually, what you want to do is to ask yourself the three basic questions that I mentioned early. You have to ask the "Who are you?" question, because that is going to connect you with yourself, first of all. And then you got to ask yourself, what is your mission? Because now you will have to, your purpose is to serve somebody, and your understanding your mission will connect you with that quality, or the standard of which those persons will require, as Gary mentioned. Is it going to be a high level or a medium level? And then there is a cost to it. And when you can identify the cost and you are serving those individuals who you are called to serve, then automatically you'll be attracting revenue back into your life that you will be answering your personal needs, wants, and wishes. Back to you, Gary.
All right, Peter. In support of some of the things that you would have said, I'm going to take one thing that I just want to advance a short conversation on, or short thought process. Yes, there is a cost for living. And whether you're living an average life, a mid level quality life, or an exceptional quality of life, there's a cost for that. And what I take away from the master plan is that the master plan really gets you to sit down and do the introspection, where you can ask yourself, what quality of life do I want? Do I want to live an average life? Do I want my family to live an average life? Or do I want them to have a mid level quality of life or an exceptional quality of life? So once you make that decision, you know that there's a cost for that quality of life that you want. So the next step, you ask yourself, what money habits I need to form, and why project management matters in this particular case. So what I've taken away from Peter's master plan program is that it really sets you up to ask yourself these questions. So if you're living an average life today, if you're not comfortable with that, what is the cost to live a mid-level quality of life? What is the cost to live an exceptional quality of life? And if I'm not there yet, what money habits can I learn, apply, and master? How project management matters in this case, and how can I bring these talents together to ensure that I can expose myself and my family to the best quality of life? Master plan. So part of what we do is to really help you to get this and to get it right. Something that I forget to say, which I'm going to say it now, Peter, because it ties into what you were saying. You see, here we have people that are planning to accomplish great success in business and great success in life. And you may not be the subject matter expert in planning, in executing on a project. But here the project management tools are so important. Here the master planning tools are so important. And you don't have that training, that exposure to execute well. You're doing the New Year resolution to execute on a major project. Your life is a major project, but you don't have the expertise to execute on that major project. And you're not talking to a mentor. You're not talking to your coach. You're not talking to your sponsors. You're not building your supportive community. And you are not the subject matter expert to execute. So what's going to happen? You're going to fail. By design, you will fail. So I just want to say we are hosting these programs for the reason, again, to help you. We have researched, we have studied for many, many, many years, academically and non-academically. We have studied life. And these contents are together to position you for greatness. So I want to encourage you to reach out to us in the event that you need more information on things that we have talked about today. Our team will be so happy to support you. Elmore, your last thoughts in a minute or two, your closing remarks.
Yes, just to be super short, I want to thank you again for allowing me to be here and be able to share the valuable information I have available for everyone. But I think this one little thought I want to leave everyone with is, how is it that you are going to finish? And I think this is a very important question because, as Gary was saying, there is many different moving parts to make your success work. Now, the ability that you have to be able to either become those working parts, or whether you find a team to help you in those working parts, it's going to be the difference whether if you're going to be successful or you are going to set yourself up for failure. And so it's very very nice thought that I think that you brought on today, Gary. And always be diligent, always be researching. That's something that I am, I've become an educator in the cryptocurrency space because I've self-educated, I self-taught. I went through the experiences, I went through being scammed, I went through losing my funds, I went through, gaining my funds, I went through all of these aspects to be able to now be the authority in this space, to be able to provide you with the most secure and safest form to act inside of the space. And so it is very important that everyone does, reach out and get a mentor. And we are here, all of us, to help you. So again, I would mention anyone can find me under CEO EIL under any of the social media platforms. And the book, it's now at the final stage. The launch date is in 2017. So Crypto 101, Understanding the Future of Money, is going to really be able to get you on track to understand the current system that we are on today and we are going, and so that you are ahead of the curve and ahead of this adoption curve, because there are going to be so many opportunities after that. However, I want to thank you again, Gary, for providing the platform, and thanks to everyone.
Welcome, my friend, and thank you for sharing. In conclusion, I want to make two statements. One is on the one who is world famous, and the next one is Peter, who is on the stage to become world famous. You know, Martin Luther King many years ago, not Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, he said a famous statement he made: think of what you can, do not think of what the nation can do for you. Think about what you can do for the nation. And that statement is profound. In other words, what he's saying, don't ask what the politicians can do for you. Ask what you can do, not only for the politicians, but for yourself and the nation. And I equate that to something that Peter said early on: know thyself and hold thyself accountable. Don't wait on what the politicians can do for you, because you have the power, you have the ability, when you start to believe in yourself, that you can make great things happen. All right? You can make great things happen. So when you're going, whether to the private sector or to public sector, you're not going with your hands out unless you're giving, and that opens up, that mindset really sets you up for success. As I would keep saying, sometimes we focus so much on our wants that we are consumed by our wants, and we're not able to focus on our have or having, and how we can leverage that have and having to impact the world. We all have substance. So, with that being said, I want to say to the public, believe in yourself because we believe in you, and it is time that you start believing in yourself. And in our programs, we're going to really give you a lot of tools, the mentorship, the coaching, the support. If you need access to capital, regardless of where you are in the US, 50 states, we're going to get you access to capital to grow and scale your business. Whether you want debt, equity, credit, creative financing, or hard money lending, we are going to get you access to capital. We have that kind of connections in the market to really help you with your business success. We're going to help you with your branding. We're going to help you with the market integration. We're going to help you to attain success. And when you want to learn more about how to invest in cryptocurrency and Bitcoin the smart way, you have Elmore. He's an expert because he's writing his book on it. He has been burned several times and he learned from those experiences. He has documented those experiences so you don't get burned. All right? You don't get burned. Peter has developed his master plan program because he says to me, too much of people are living as though they're drifting at sea. They're living as drifters. With your master plan, your anchor, you have a clear mental vision as to what you want to accomplish, why, and how. And then you have a supportive community behind you to support you get to your destination. So if you like what you're hearing, I want to encourage you to reach out to us. Remember to like, subscribe, and share so you will be the first to get these content that we are bringing to you on a regular basis. With that being said, I want to say have a great Wednesday, and we see you tomorrow. Be blessed.